Hello, welcome back to my network. I'm joined again with Richard Williams, the CEO of Winshear Gold. Richard, good to be with you.
It's good to be back.
Good. Yeah, it's good to have you back. So obviously Winshear Gold, I think there's a long history here that I want to get into, but usually we kick things off with the cap structure and then we'll go from there. So cap structure and then we'll dive in.
Okay, listed on the TSX Venture Exchange, we've got 31.4 million shares issued. Last trade around 11 cents Canadian, so market cap around 3.5 million Canadian.
Good. And for those probably sitting here thinking, 3.5 million Canadian, why are we watching a story on that? I think there's a very good reason for that, actually. So why don't we first just go into the history, because this wasn't always Winshear Gold. This was another company.
That's right.
Helio. What happened there, and how did that, in essence, rebirth into Winshear?
So, well, way back 2001, myself and a good friend of mine, Chris McKenzie, we formed a company called Helio Resource Corp, which we took public in 2004. The focus for the company at that time was copper initially in Namibia, and then we branched out into Tanzania in late 2005, early 2006, to where we acquired a project called the SMP Gold Project in southwest Tanzania. We had quite a bit of success there. We outlined and discovered 1.2 million ounce resource. Unfortunately for us, the government cancelled a certain class of license, which covered the ground that we had in 2017. So we had to go to international arbitration, one of those things that you never anticipate doing in your career. And we settled with Tanzania late last year. As a result of that, they paid us $30 million US. We used the bulk of the net proceeds to us as a return of capital to shareholders to basically give something back for all those shareholders who had been with the company for so long. And in the meantime, in 2019, we decided to look outside of Africa, and we acquired a gold project called Gaban from a company called Palomina. And out of the proceeds from the settlement with Tanzania, we kept around 3 million Canadian, and we're going to use that to drill test Gaban later this year.
Good. All right. And why Gaban, I guess, is the question, because obviously we can go on to this drill campaign that you're kickstarting in a month's time, but what attracted you to this deposit? Obviously, there's quite a few around the world that you could have chosen from.
Sure. Peru has got tremendous exploration potential, and certainly from a gold perspective, I think it's underexplored. Palomina, we now have Andrew Thompson, who's the CEO of Palomina, on the board of Winshear. He brought these projects to our attention. And the thing that stood out to me with respects to Gaban was a number of things. Logistically and infrastructure-wise, the project straddles the main highway that goes from Peru into Brazil. So you've got good road access along the Gaban River, Gaban Valley. Along that valley, you've got 3 hydroelectric power stations, so you've got good power supply locally. And you've got the town of Gaban, which we can use as a base for field activities and also hopefully future personnel for a good project. On the technical side of things, Palomina had looked at what's called the Puno Orogenic Gold Belt in southern Peru, which had potential for orogenic style gold mineralization. And on Gaban itself, they'd flown airborne magnetics, and there was a series of intersecting regional structures that was reflected by a large magnetic high. And they'd followed that up with some stream sediment sampling, and they'd found a 5-kilometer long series of gold in stream sediment anomalies with up to 5 grams per ton gold in stream sediments, which is a very high number. And this target area is only located about 7 kilometers as the crow flies from Gaban. So infrastructure technically looked very interesting, very high gold values. And more importantly for us, it wasn't a project that was rehashed. It hadn't been drilled before. This is a brand new opportunity. And close by, about 40 kilometers to the north, is one of the world's biggest alluvial gold mining districts called the Madre de Dios. So clearly a lot of gold shedding off the eastern side of the Andes. And we think Gaban represents one of the very important sources for that alluvial gold.
And just to be clear, obviously with the drill campaign that's coming up, where are those drill rigs going to be in relation to the 5 grams per ton that you were finding?
Well, we acquired the project in 2019. Obviously, we ran into issues with COVID, etc. But What we did initially was get the team onto the ground and try to find the source of the gold in stream sediment anomalies. The initial view was to do soil sampling, but the soil development was not good enough to do that. And so what we ended up doing was clearing exposures along the creek sides, exposing bedrock, and we were finding sheeted veins, quartz veins hosted in sediments, and those veins carry gold mineralization. So we did channel sampling in the exposures, and we've got a footprint of outcropping gold in veins that covers an area about just over 2 kilometers, almost in an east-west direction by 1 kilometer wide. We haven't found the full extent of this footprint yet, so it's clearly a large target area. We've been getting individual 1 meter samples up to 30 grams per ton, so there are some very good indications of bedrock gold mineralization. And on top of that, after every rainy season, we do see some small alluvial mining activity where local groups will come in and mine the river gravels, and they are finding nuggets up to almost 0.5 kilo in size. So the area that we covers the entire catchment area, so we're confident that all of the gold that the alluvials miners are mining comes from our property, and we've seen that with the work that we've done in the channel sampling. So we're very excited about this program, which will kick off in about a month.
Okay, and just in terms of this channel sampling, so I'm assuming did you also do some trenching alongside it or anything along those lines?
Well, it's effectively trenching.
Yeah.
All we were doing was clearing any debris on the side of the riverbanks, exposing the bedrock, and then just doing a channel sampling in those exposures.
Okay. All right, and talk to me a little bit about this drill campaign, because it's not every week you get a brand new greenfield opportunity, very low market cap at the moment,
Yep.
3 million. It's one of those like miner's dream, or they say in mining, obviously everyone's a dreamer, right? And this seems like one of those stories where it's a brand new potential discovery.
Yeah, and I think that, from my perspective, and I'm an exploration geologist, I'm driven by the excitement of making a new discovery. Yeah. This orogenic gold belt, the Puno Orogenic Gold Belt in Peru, hosts some world-class size deposits. To the south of us is the world's highest elevation settlement area called La Rinconada, which is an enormous gold mining center, but it's mined by local Peruvians, and estimates are for at least 8 million ounce deposit there. About 30 kilometers south of Gaban Project is another project called I.O.C.G, which was discovered by Minera IRL. They've outlined a 1.5 to 2 million ounce resource. So clearly there's gold in the district. Again, the attraction for me is the large footprint, the geophysical signature, and the fact that this has never been drill tested before. So, what's the outcome going to be? Well, I think there's potential for both narrow, high-grade, shear zone hosted gold mineralization. But if a lot of these sheeted veins stack up, you've also got potential for wide widths of bulk tonnage mineable mineralization as well.
Oh, okay, and based on your interpretation of the geology at the moment, the gold was hosted within quartz. Is it? How does it actually look from what you've seen in the channel sampling?
Look, again, what we were exposing are these quartz veins that range from millimeter in size up to 10 centimeters in width. And when you drill, basically you're looking for a high density of these veins within the sediments. And if they all carry gold mineralization, then that will give you your bulk tonnage style mineralization. Or if you get some high grade in certain concentrations, you could be looking at underground mineable situations as well. And we do see that. I should point out, there's an area to the southeast of us where, again, local Peruvian artisanal miners have exposed and outlined a high-grade structure that actually trends right into our Gaban target, where they mine in high-grade shear zone-hosted gold mineralization over a vertical extent of about 600 meters. So there's no reason to say that doesn't continue into the project as well.
Okay. All right. So you've got good infrastructure, you've got good power, you've got geological tell-ins of something that's potentially there. Just the drilling left to go. So talk to me about the drill campaign. What does that look like? How many meters? Over what time period? When can we expect assays? That sort of thing.
Well, the plan right now, we're putting in the access to get into site, put the camp in place. We've had a team on site for the last couple of months putting in the road access. When I say road, it's like an access trail. We'll fly in the rig with a helicopter to get set up, but then it'll all be man-portable drill rigs to get the initial drilling underway. we're looking to drill 1,500 to 2,000 meters initially, and we'll focus on the core area of the anomaly, and that'll tell us the nature of the mineralization, how widespread, what the distribution is like, what the continuity is like, and then that'll set the scene, obviously, for any follow-up work. We expect to get that drill program underway by mid to late September. We expect to be drilling until late October, early November, which is when the rainy season sets in. And so we hope to get some initial results out before the end of this year. I think from a kind of investment perspective, it's not often you'll see a company with a $3.5 million market cap about to drill potentially, a new gold opportunity. And when you look at the gold price and its movements recently, I think it's a pretty attractive opportunity.
Yeah, it's one of them where it's an element of risk there, obviously, with greenfield exploration. Yep. But if you're inclined to a punt like I am, it's probably not a bad one.
No, it's not like we're in an area that doesn't have any gold mineralization. Yeah. We are surrounded by areas where there is active mining. You've got, as I said, this enormous alluvial gold mining camp to the north called Madre de Dios. Peru itself has got exceptional geology. There's no doubt the potential is there to make a major discovery. And I think I'm a big shareholder in the company, and I really like what I see. And but that's the nature of exploration. Yeah. You drill, the truth machine will tell you what you've got, and hopefully we're onto a winner.
Good. All right. Well, we'll be following along closely. But Richard, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.